about the mass shooting in an Indiana mall that left 3 people dead.
At least 1.6 million people have been reinfected with COVID across
In Ecuador, the president has declared a state of emergency after one of the country's deadliest prison riots. Inmates in rival gangs using machetes and grenades.
Here's how it begins. You grab a rectangular object, press the power button, and turn on your local news, only to find out something terrible has happened.
Chaos and lawlessness striking at the heart of American democracy.
The next day, same thing occurs. Turn the news on, something tragic has happened.
Tonight, bloodshed on the streets of Kazakhstan as protests take a deadly turn.
Your mind has been bombarded with negativity all week, and something starts to fester inside of you, as if your days aren't already hard enough. You go into work and everyone is talking about it. Did you hear the news last night? The world is coming to an end. Unfortunately, our world loves drama. People love drama. We want to see something tragic happen. We want to see something out of the norm, just as long as it doesn't hurt us. We like to see other people go through hard times, which sounds awful. However, that is the reality. Your local news will continue to report only the negative issues, the things that will make you completely stop what you are doing and turn an ear to hear. So you continue to listen. You continue to let the negativity into your mind. You become obsessed with watching the news, obsessed with the negativity. Because of this, it has affected your social life and you are now a negative person. You will always find the worst in any situation. Because of this, people have picked up on your behavior and want to stay away from you. You are baffled and confused as to why. Isolated because of your mindset, dark thoughts start to enter your mind. You have unknowingly let a monster inside of you. And that monster, a negative mindset, will never let you go. At least not without a fight.
Lead as Money misses. The second of 2, and Robinson has a rebound. He'll have plenty of those before today is over. Maravich, yes. Pete Maravich has taken far more shots than any other player in the NBA, both last year and this year.
Pistol Pete Maravich. The name was given to him because he was an exceptional shooter. Pete Maravich was one of the greatest shooting guards in NBA history. He dazzled fans with his electrifying style of play.
Fires it out of there to Maravich, under to Robinson for a slam dunk.
His flash and creativity on the court was impeccable and was an absolute offensive juggernaut. He attended college at LSU from 1967 to 1970 and broke many records, specifically the all-time scoring title, which he still holds today. He scored a total of 3,667 points and averaged 44 points per game in his collegiate career without a three-point line. He will go down as one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. With his future looking so bright after a stellar career in basketball, he made a fatal mistake.
It was a casual pickup basketball game in a California church gymnasium. Pete Maravich was relaxing, doing what he loved the most.
Suddenly, Maravich collapsed. Efforts to resuscitate him were futile, and the man known as the Pistol died of a heart attack.
Some would argue the tragedy was just a coincidence, and some would argue he should have never uttered those words. Pete Maravich, in a 1974 interview with the Beaver County Times, said, "I don't want to play 10 years in the NBA and die of a heart attack at age 40. Now, what I want you to be aware of are his words. He uttered those awful words out of his mouth, which then became a reality. Now, what would have happened if he had never said those words? Would he have lived past 40? But the fact of the matter is, do not speak negatively over your life. You never know just how damaging your words can be, just how awful and drastic they can change your future. However, life can hit hard like a ton of bricks, and sometimes those negative thoughts just won't go away. Let's begin to understand what they really are and how you can extinguish these thoughts permanently. We all have that inner battle, that tiny voice in our head that is always whispering negative thoughts into our ears, wishing we would start to believe in these dark thoughts so that they may eventually become a reality. Negative self-talk can take many forms. It can sound grounded, I'm not good at this, so I should avoid attempting it for my own personal safety, for example, or it's downright mean. I can't ever do anything right. It may seem like a realistic appraisal of a situation. I got a C on this test. I guess I'm not good at English, only to devolve into a fear-based fantasy. I'll never be able to go to a good college. Negative self-talk can affect us in some pretty damaging ways. One large-scale study found that rumination and self-blame over negative events were linked to an increased risk of mental health problems. Those who speak negative about themselves have a tendency to be more stressed than others. You are creating a false reality in your mind that could possibly become a reality by thinking negatively. For example, one study on athletes compared 4 different types of self-talk: instructional, motivational, positive, and negative, and found that positive self-talk was the greatest predictor of success. People didn't need to remind themselves how to do something as much as they are needed to tell themselves that they are doing something great and that others notice it as well. There are many consequences that occur as a result of negative self-talk, and those include limited thinking, perfectionism, feelings of depression, and relationship changes.
Negativity is a multiple of 4 to 7 times more powerful than positivity. If I say something out loud, it's 10x. If it's negative, it's 4 to 7 times more powerful. So when I say negative things out loud, it's 40 to 70 times more likely that that will happen or cause a result that won't be good for me than if I just didn't say anything.
Think of negative self-talk like a cancer. At first, you may seem like you're joking when you say bad things about yourself. Once those words leave your breath, they start to fester. They start to attach themselves in your mind, eating away your very essence. Once it starts to spread, then you start to feel yourself getting stressed easier. This cancer continues until your health starts to decline. Then you're looking up at the ceiling from a hospital bed wondering, how did I get here? This is the reality of just how detrimental negativity can be. But there is a solution, a way to fight this monster and contain it. But it will require you to do something. Fight. A cold night arrives, and you find yourself in a dark corner with no way of retreat. As you are trying to find a way out, you hear something. The sound sends a shiver down your spine. You slowly turn around and you see it. You see the monster that you let in, the monster that wants to consume you. So what do? Either you let the monster overtake you or you fight. In order to combat a negative mindset, you need to fight. You must first decide it is time for a change for the better. How, you ask? Well, this is the tough part, but here are some things that can get you going in the right direction. Remember that thoughts and feelings aren't always reality. Thinking negative things about yourself may feel like astute observations, but your thoughts and feelings about yourself can definitely not be considered accurate information. Your thoughts can be skewed like everyone else's, subject to biases and the influence of your moods. You ever run into an instance where someone tells you to just think positive? Yeah, easier said than done. An effective way to help reduce negativity is just don't say the negative thought out loud.
Nobody wants to be told to be positive. Positive thinking in many cases repulses people. You're telling me to be positive and I'm going through a divorce. You're telling me to be positive and I threw 3 interceptions. You're telling me to be positive and I got to deal with this president. You're telling me to be positive and I got this current situation. You're telling me to be positive and I got this health situation. So then what's the alternative?
Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Even if you believe in God or not, you can't deny this phrase's authenticity. This is one of the best routes to combating negative self-talk. Replace it with something better. Take a negative thought and change it to something encouraging that's also accurate. Repeat until you find yourself needing to do it less and less often. It's a great way to develop a more positive way of thinking about yourself and about life. Lastly, stay away from those individuals who are negative. I am sure you're thinking of that person or persons right now. Only keep people in your life who will uplift you, those who will go to war with you without question. Now those people, keep them close and never let them go. They will help keep those negative thoughts at bay and never letting that monster in. This journey, or more so battle, will require effort. You can't just wish for negative thoughts to disappear. You must attack those negative thoughts like your life depends on it, because in fact, it does. You are here for a reason. You have a purpose in your life. Do not let that monster called negativity swoop into your mind and destroy your true essence. Choose to fight back, and I promise you, you will be victorious.